What's up, YouTube? Let's make some chicken noodle soup. I think it'll be fun. Just wanted to show you something. Last night I made a prime rib video and I uploaded it this morning, so if you've watched it, you notice I mentioned, and if you didn't, I'll tell you now, I mentioned that as I started cooking it yesterday afternoon around 4 o'clock, we had a snowstorm coming in. And it's around 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon now, so this is what we got so far. And this is perfect, by the way. This is perfect chicken noodle soup weather. So there you go. That's what we got so far. It's still coming down hard. It had taken a break for about 2 hours. And about a half an hour ago it started coming down again. It's supposed to come for several more hours. We're supposed to get another 9 inches or so. I think this is about 16 inches that are down now. That's what the weatherman said. Okay, YouTube, so we're going to do this in, I guess you can call it phases. There's going to be 2 phases to this chicken noodle soup. And for phase 1, we're going to be using, I'm going to use 2 bulbs of garlic. I'm going to use 3 yellow onions. These are basically medium-sized onions. I've got 1 bunch of leeks. Leeks usually come with 2 to 3 leeks in a bunch. This one has 3, so I'll use 3. I'm usually going to chop these right about here, so I don't use the top part. I'm going to use, I would normally use 2 or 3 stalks of celery. These are very small stalks. I'm going to use 5 of these. I'm going to use 3 carrots. I'm going to use 1 roasting chicken. Bunch of thyme, 1 bunch of sage, 1 bunch of rosemary. Okay, let's start by gathering our thyme, sage, and rosemary together. Get you some kitchen twine and tie these in 1 tight bundle. Tie them really tight so that they don't separate. Get a good knot on there. And then cut away the extra twine. You can set this to the side. You're going to need a big pot. I'm going to set my pot in the sink next to me. I'm using a 10-quart pot. And I think that's what you need. At least 10-quart pot. Your onions, cut them in half. Don't peel them. Cut them in half. Along with the peels. Toss them in the pot. Your garlic, cut it in half horizontally, don't peel it, toss the whole thing in the pot. Two bulbs, not cloves, mind you, 2 bulbs. You're going to take your leeks, remove the top, say 1/3 roughly. Leeks are really dirty on the inside. You're going to remove these things on the end, these little, I guess these are the ends of the roots. Trash those. Get rid of that last rubber band. And then what you're going to do is rinse these out. And you're going to rinse them good. So your leeks go in. Get your celery. Clip the bottom. I clip the top. You can keep the top if you want. Okay, I rinsed the celery off. We're going to take, and I said 5. Hell, we're going to use more than that. These are really, I don't know why they sold me these. Oh, shit, if it wasn't snowing, I'll go get my money back. I'm going to use these 7. And all you're going to do with these is cut them in half. Alright? And in the pot. In the pot. That's the name of the game today. In the pot. Everybody goes in the pot. These are kind of skinny carrots, so I'm going to go with 4 carrots. 4 carrots, rinse them off. These carrots, I don't skin them. I don't remove the bottoms or the top. 7.5 in the pot. Alright. We got chicken. This is a roasting chicken. I find that they work pretty good for this. And don't bother with Perdue. Get you a store brand chicken. Same chicken, they just put a different package on it. I should knock Perdue though. I'm not knocking Perdue. I don't know if you know, but Perdue is from Maryland. That's where they cook Perdue chickens. Or that's where they raise them. I mean, not cook them. They're all over there on the eastern shore. You go to the beach, you can't help but pass all the chicken farms. So they're good for our economy. So I'm not going to knock Perdue. Go buy you a Perdue chicken if you want to. I'm just not going to buy one because they're too damn expensive. But they taste just like the store chicken. So I rinse that chicken. I throw them in the pot. You got your bunch of herbs. Throw them in the pot. Pepper. Sprinkle some in the pot. Salt. Goes in the pot. And then I've got 2 chicken bouillon cubes. I'm going to let you guess where I'm going to put them. In the pot, right? In the pot. Okay, so that's what we got. Fill your pot up with hot water. And it doesn't have to be hot. I use hot because I'm going to boil it. So if you put hot water in there, it'll boil just a little bit faster. Alright. So you're going to fill this up with water and you're going to put it on the stove, bring it to a boil. Once it starts boiling, you're going to let it simmer on like a medium to medium low. And you're going to let it go for about 3 hours. Alright? Leave you enough space at the top of the pot, whereas it starts to bubble, it won't necessarily boil over. You're going to let this boil for 3 hours. It's going to boil down during the course of that time. You're going to go between putting the lid on, putting the lid off. And just do that as you see fit. At some point, you're going to add 32 ounces of broth. It's going to boil down and just pre-bought store broth. You're going to throw it in maybe when this water is halfway down from where it's at now. Everything is breaking up. You don't have to do that, but I do it to help make my broth a little bit richer. Okay? Let's get this on the stove. Alright, do exactly what I ran. Chicken is down in there somewhere. Right there, actually. Right underneath those onions and those carrots. It's still whole at this point. It'll start to break down maybe the next hour or so. And 2 hours in right here. Put your chicken in there. See it's falling apart now. Alright. I'm sorry again, I'm doing this by myself. I don't have a cameraman, so I know I'm probably moving this camera all over the place. But coming along pretty good. Alright. I've had this covered for a while. I'm going to cover it back up. Alright, we're about 2 hours and 45 minutes. Approaching that 3 hour mark. Alright. Let that keep going. Cover it back up. And we're going to work on these. This is going to be the beginning of phase 2. Well, this is what we're going to use. And this is a family pack of chicken thighs. So I'm going to deglove these and clean them. I'll be right back. We're right exactly at the 3 hour mark. We're going to take this off the stove. I've got a colander inside of another pot over here. And we're going to put that in there so that it can strain. Okay, So that's what you got. I just put this back on the burner, just turned it back on. It's going to take a second to bring it to the boil. What I'm going to be adding now is one more bouillon cube. I've got a little bit of celery salt. I've got some MSG. If you don't like MSG, substitute salt. Use less salt though. I've got some fresh sage and fresh thyme. A little black pepper. A little more black pepper, I should say. Your chicken thighs. Normally I wouldn't be holding this camera. I would have put those in there one hand at a time and not made such a mess. Alright, we're going to bring this to the boil. We're going to let it go for about 2 hours. Covered. I'll be back. Okay, so these thighs have been going for an hour now. I'm going to get ready to remove the bone from them. I'm going to use this fork and a pair of tongs to do that. Alright? I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay, so again, I'm at the hour mark. I've just removed the bones from the thighs. I've turned up the heat to medium. We're going to cover it back up once we get it back on. At this point, you also want to taste it for your salt. I was a little bit light, so I added one more bouillon cube and I added some more salt, kosher salt. At this point, I will also normally put in a tablespoon of sesame oil, and I just realized I don't have any, so I won't be doing that this time. I have a mirepoix I'm going to add at this point, and I've got 2 of those little containers of it. You can chop your own if you want. I got these from the market pre-chopped. Put those in. Give it a good stir. Your chicken is still in large clumps. Mostly you want it to boil down. And you want that flavor to get all in there. So we're going to get this on medium. We're going to put the lid back on it and let it go for another hour. I'll be back. Okay, there you go. 2 hours into it. It's done. We just threw some noodles in this pot. Those will be ready in a second. And I'll show you what a bowl looks like. Be right back. So, what we like to do with ours, we cook the noodles separately. We'll put them in the pot. What I don't have today that we usually like to have is I'll do a bok choy cabbage and chop it up, and we'll add that to the bowl. And I like to do some green scallions, neither of which I have today, but that's usually what we do to finish it off too, top it off. Put the noodles in, and then we add our broth, chicken, and you can see those thighs really come out tender. They fall apart. Alright. So there you go, YouTube. Really good stuff. Try it out. Let me know what you think. Appreciate you watching. Thumbs, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Peace.